Excellent. We are streaming, but it is on a 2-minute delay. So, everyone say hello to us from the future past.
Right. Are we in the future now?
Wait, they're in our past. So yes, we are in their future. So they can say hello from the past, which is the present to them.
So you have 2 minutes to write down these lottery numbers and buy a ticket and profit. All right. Hello, A-Move TV people.
Internet people. Welcome.
Internet people. Hello.
We made it.
Yes.
And looks like we are all accounted for.
Yep, everyone's here. Everyone's all refreshed. You know, before these matches start, as a team captain, I'm always telling my teammates to go to the washroom and to take care of their business because they won't be able to do it when we're playing the game.
Sure.
It's pretty important. So
no, that is. And I mean, have you as a team captain had to have a lot of sit-down talks about certain kinds of play, or is this tournament really just casual enough that you guys let bygones be bygones?
Yeah, the Heroes of the Pants tournament is, you know, for people who enjoy playing Heroes of the Storm but aren't necessarily, you know, going to spend, well, as much time as I do, which might be like for 8 to 10 hours on Sundays. But, you know, it's for all kinds of people who enjoy Heroes of the Storm but want to play in a friendly competition but, you know, are at varying skill levels. So we actually haven't been talking about play because we've you know, this is going to sound like a brag, but we've won most of our games until last night. So we're like, well, it's working, so let's just show up and win. And so actually, I'm really glad we had our loss because I think what we're going to do is sit down and have a talk about that and figure out what we're doing wrong when it comes to certain team comps.
Well, that was a roaming gank that just kind of surprised you guys.
Yeah, so last night's game versus Spastic Noobs was a spastic match. But no, seriously, we have a hard time with like these melee stun comps. So like, you know, if Illidan, Uther, Abathur, like teams that really want to get in there, we've been having a hard time with them. So that's something we're working on, or we need to work on for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so we're in the group select stage. Are we going to see like mirror Lost Vikings?
Oh, I actually am not sure I've ever seen Lost Vikings versus Lost Vikings. Maybe that one free-to-play week 3 months ago where where it was just complete madness. Actually, wasn't that release week they made Lost Vikings free-to-play?
I think so. I remember that week, though. I don't know what week it was, but in every game on both teams there were Lost Vikings, and it was driving me nuts because I like to play Nova, and Vikings are really irritating for Nova because you blow all your cooldowns, and then there's still 2 more Vikings left.
Oh, I've actually never really thought about that. I thought it'd just be a kill fest, but Nova doesn't get gathering power anymore.
I don't play her with gathering power, no.
Oh, okay, so she still has it?
I don't know if she still has it. Like I so don't use that ability that
Gotcha.
I haven't even noticed that it's gone. Because that's usually competing for Hollow Decoy, which is like that's a must pick for me, anyways.
Well, that's kind of the strategy right now is to blow all 3 of those, get they do damage, and just blow somebody up. But hey, looks like we're getting going here, and I have no idea what the healer is because of the interface. But Sky Temple. So Gorath, you're joining me for this cast. Tell me a bit about the tournament. Tell me how we got on Sky Temple, and if you have any history with these 2 teams.
So Team Stormcast is Mick Montgomery's team. He hosts the Stormcast. He was here on the last episode, the last cast that you did. So I think people generally should be introduced to him. So they're people who, you know, sit down and talk about Heroes of the Storm a lot. They've only played 1 game in the tournament, so they won their 1 game, but we're not quite sure, you know, where they're going to shake out in terms of their performance against the other teams. The team they're up against, Coldplays, in the same division, Division D, is I think the division villain. Right now they've played 5 games and won all 5 games, and they're in the position we were last night where, you know, if they win this one, they'll be in the lead for team wins in the entire tournament. And I haven't seen them play, so I'm very eager to see how they perform here.
Well, looks like we've got our teams here. And let me just make sure, because sometimes these colors can be a little backwards, but on the blue team, we have Prospero on Kale, Fox on the Lost Vikings, Fail X Design on Malfurion, Johanna with Montanant. I like that name.
Yeah, I love that name.
And Super Milo on Vala. On the red team, we have another Kael'thas on another Notch, At Troxnick.
Atronics.
Taking up the Master Skin Lost Vikings, Snarl on the Malfurion, another Johanna on Cattle Prod, and then a Jaina from Spencer HD.
Yeah, so I've played with Spencer HD one time, and if I'm not mistaken, because it was one time, I think he's going to be a big shot caller on the team. Very interested to see what sort of coordinated plays they're going to come up with, as I think this is his more regular team.
Well, looks like, unlike most matches on Lost Vikings or any map where there happens to be sight, nothing big going down there. Red team just taking it. And we're getting to some pretty standard laning.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the Lost Viking matchup is going to be, because there's a reason to have a fight in both lanes for both of them, you know? Because both Lost Vikings players have one guy in each lane soaking.
Yeah, and of course, XP doesn't double up. You know, two people getting the same XP isn't going to increase the speed, but they're making sure Lost Vikings are spread out as much as possible so that you eke out every little bit.
Yeah. I'm not... It seems like everyone's just laning pretty peacefully.
Yeah.
You know, trading blows, trying to get their poke on, and we're going to see, I think, the fireworks start once these temples come up, which they're going to be up in 5 seconds.
So I'm guessing we're going to see Lost Vikings remain in bottom lane. Looks like Vala a little lagging behind there for the blue team, but Jaina, Spencer HD making her way, and we're going to have our first big fight around the top one here, which blue has already taken a number of shots off of.
Yeah, so Stormcast has given it up. I think the generally accepted strategy here is to focus on one and not be greedy and go for both. So they're each going to sort of take their own tower and not get an engagement, which I think is smart for both teams right now.
Absolutely. And with the Lost Vikings spread out, with it being really early game, best that they keep on the XP. Really, the only differences we're seeing across them is a couple of talent choices. Malfurion on Coldplay going a bit more of aggressive build, whereas the Malfurion played by Snarl on Stormcast doing a healing build.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think I kind of like the Coldplay's failed designs choice a little better. The heal talent on the other Malfurion is a bit... You have to use a Moonfire in order to benefit from it, and you don't always need to use Moonfire.
Yeah, but if he ends up taking those late game talents, those can be pretty heavy damage. It just comes, you know, level 16 when a game can already be decided. So it looks like we've rotated, Stormcast rotated Notch out for the Jaina. Jaina actually going top now and getting wailed on a bit by the Vala and Fox here. Fox having to retreat because he got a living bomb, which is about equal to half his health as a Lost Viking.
Yeah, if Kael'thas misses all of his skill shots or doesn't get anything done, that Vala's going to wreck him. He's going to need support in the bottom lane.
But things are dead even. Looks like we're going to have our first big decision of the map here, though. Coming out for Stormcast as they decide to go get Bruisers. And Lost Vikings is, of course, going to maintain XP in every lane for them.
That's really good timing on that mercenary camp. Basically, they should be done in time for that bottom shrine, and it puts some pressure on the decision making for Coldplays. You know, send everyone after the temple or leave some people back to clean up the wave.
Yeah, we're gonna see the bottom shrine pop at about 4 minutes and 20 seconds, particularly because that first shrine was taken so quickly by both teams. And right now, no one really in position. In fact, that leaves Coldplay with a Vala down bottom, able to get in place quicker, but they're also taking their giants. Those are going to be able to push the entire duration of that shrine.
Yeah, they don't have anyone who can really siege up super well in the shrine. So it's going to be whoever gets the more people in there first will probably get the initial advantage.
Well,
so let's see who hustles.
Yeah, Coldplay deciding to also take their Bruisers might actually work out in their favor, because those will all be perfectly alive to push, unlike a Stormcast, which got a little damage during the laning phase. But Stormcast, a strong presence down here in the bottom lane. Coldplay trying to regroup with Johanna going in first. That's where you want her. Taking a couple shots. Blizzard is out. Cattleprod getting a conviction out, holding off everybody. And look at this Kael'thas out completely by himself.
Kael'thas is out. He's going to go down. Yeah, he got that. And look, this ball is going to get blown up too.
Yep, losing the Lost Vikings there, and the squishies being Kael'thas and Jaina really able to keep to the back.
Yep. So, you know, commonly you see assassins try to get a flanking kill on where the main team fight is, but in that bottom area, that's not a flank. That's just that's a kill box if you go into the other entrance.
But
as you can see,
no one loses a fort, and in fact, that push up top works out for Coldplays.
Yep. So the right now, Fox is winning the Lost Vikings game, the mini game going on between those two heroes.
Briefly, they've got maybe 100 more XP to them, and this is gonna be a very volatile moment here. While Stormcast has 10, but looks like they're actually not gonna make anything big of it. Maybe take a Lost Viking mid, but no one's gonna waste an ult on that.
No. Looks like Fox isn't even really paying attention to that one. But there's a push going on bottom lane. Kael'thas can be a bit of a bully in lane when it comes to using his ult on the towers and forts.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this play.
Yeah, Bala's even going to back. So I think Stormcast is being more... Oh, Kael'thas going down mid.
Yep, Johanna's conviction going out a little bit too late to save him. And now we have a heal go to both tranquilities, chasing each other with tranquilities, but sadly a little outnumbered with that Jaina there. Maybe Johanna can get around and save Phaelix Design with a body block, and sadly he falls.
Man, tranquilities that heal no one feels bad, man.
Yeah. Wait, here we go. We got...
Spencer was able to get out of there with next to no health. Amazing.
Barely anything. Well, with both teams with their 10s, we can take a look at some of the difference here. Kael'thas going the exact same builds. In fact, both Lost Vikings going play it again, which we didn't see at all until this last patch.
Yeah, I've played against that several times. I find it obnoxious and hugely annoying, which probably means it's a good choice.
That it's working.
Yeah. Jaina, both. Oh, there's only one Jaina, and she took Water Elemental, which I think makes sense. I don't think Ring of Frost would be really good against the team comp.
It's just too wide of a map.
Yeah, and we see Blessed Shield on both teams. These Johanna players know what they're doing.
Yep, not getting seduced by the really, really cool laser.
Yeah. The cool falling shield is awesome and all, but nothing stuns are OP. All right, so we see Bruisers and the top Sky Temple going to Team Stormcast. They're multitasking objectives a little better than Coldplays. Coldplays has way more people than they need bottom, expecting a fight, but they're not going to get one, and that's actually a waste of their resources. They fall behind when they do that.
But we do have Lost Vikings, a Lost Viking heading top here, so this may be enough to actually eke out an XP lead, and maybe even a random little kill in this Kael'thas, but nope, he walks away.
I think that's the dream with the Lost Vikings be everywhere, but it takes a lot of attention and skill to do it perfectly. So I'm not very optimistic when it comes to the effectiveness of Lost Vikings, but that's a personal opinion. You have to be very, very good to leverage its strengths, I think.
Sure, playing a lot of StarCraft, I feel like I'm okay, but you need a team that works well as 4 in order to take advantage of Lost Vikings. But we have a big fight team going down here. Johanna out with the convection of it.
Yeah. Oh, they're running away, but the Kael'thas Jaina nuke is they're trying to get that set up.
And looks like they're gonna safely retreat here.
No, I don't know. No. It depends what Jaina can do with Condemn. You know, one good Condemn pulling in one nice juicy target, and those two casters will rip it to shreds.
That's what I'm trying to say. Condemn, thank you.
Yeah.
Convection.
Condemn. Convection. Well, it looks like what, it's got convection art.
I'm trying hard not to call it the vacuum.
Yeah, well, that's what it does. I mean, it is a vacuum. It sucks up the enemies.
It sucks.
Yep. All right, well, that last, I mean, they didn't live the dream on that last engagement, but sooner or later they're going to have to bump heads. It looks like, they're getting some vision on the boss, but they've given up on it, and they're going to...
Well, if Coldplays can secure this tower, and most likely our next one is going to be a solitary single mid, they could actually have the superb sight with a push coming top from these Bruisers. Could put them in a good position. Though I think they might want this middle fort a little too bad. And they've started taking the boss.
Yeah.
Dangerous place.
Yeah, good on them for having the discipline to break it off as soon as, they saw that they were potentially outnumbered. But I mean, it looks like both teams are itching for a fight, but they're looking to get a pick on a juicy target and just not, go straight in. It's kind of rough. This is very much a mirror match with Joanna's on both sides. They both know what the other team is up to because they're trying to do the exact same thing as the other team, which is catch somebody out of position.
Yeah.
And it looks like Kael'thas is our winner.
And
unfortunately, another notch went to go peek in a bush and got wrecked.
Exactly, but Vala barely getting out of there, but that was her first ult of the game, Strafe being one of the ones that is not copied on both sides. And I think you're absolutely right, it is going to come down to a Jaina versus Vala, which one fits the comp better.
Yep. Another notch was really good to get Super Milo down that low, but it was a 1v5. I mean, the healer was there. They're going to use this opportunity to take the boss, which is primo.
Yep, exactly. This is exactly what you want to be doing during the situation. They've got the tower. Vikings are holding it. And
Coldplays are responding.
Yep, Coldplay realizes it, gets their middle fort, but here they come. Malfurion leading the way, a little dangerous, but Lost Viking summoning everybody in. And that may fall with actually Coldplay on the pad. It works out for him.
Oh, yep, they managed to get it, but they sacrifice a lot to get that boss. If that, that boss doesn't have an outer fort to take down, it'll... Oh, no. I made a mistake. Sorry. Coldplay's got it.
Yeah, they stole it right from him.
That's the power of the Vikings right there. They wouldn't have known the boss was going down hadn't Fox be there to take a peek. Wow, I'm surprised they actually lost that engagement considering they were outnumbered.
It was an excellent call by Fox. The Lost Vikings deciding to use Plate again, not because he was dead, but because he wanted to teleport everyone down there immediately.
They responded really quick. I saw them beelining down from the top line. But, it doesn't put them back all that much. The boss takes out, a gate, a bit of HP on the towers.
They do have a level lead for a brief amount of time, but that's not going to be too much.
I think if I'm Team Stormcast right now, I'm looking to pick a fight. I think what I would want to do right now is pick a fight, put some people on their death timers, and start pressing an advantage that way. Because right now, Coldplays is sort of setting the pace for the game. They're going to come in and get their picks.
Yeah, it's easy for us to make such claims from our on-high position, but to them, they're pretty locked in their base. They have limited vision, about as far out as this middle point here, with in the top, and otherwise they're basically blind, stuck inside their base. Yeah, Vala just zoning out so that they can take those bruisers.
Yeah, and Spencer was sort of bot lane. Like they're a little spread out, and I think they're going to need everyone for the fight because right now Coldplays are all stuck together, and Stormcast has a lot of damage on their team, so they can put the hurt on. But timing is everything. I think when you're going with sort of this blast comp.
For sure, the double wizards as you would.
Yeah, like what I'm trying to do if I have Jane and Kael'thas is throw all your ults into one spot and do as much damage as possible. But we haven't seen an opportunity come up for them to do that yet.
Well, it looks like we might have another gentleman's agreement split here as Coldplay takes the mid and Stormcast takes the bottom.
Yeah.
These Vikings just working as hard as they can to keep this XP dead even for both teams.
They're pretty much even in resources. I mean, the lanes are pushed out for Stormcast, but Stormcast is staying on top of objectives. What they really just need to do is, get something to swing in their favor, to swing the pendulum back their way and get some momentum. But, yeah, I don't know. When I play Sky Temple a lot, I'm always a little bit like, oh, do we really need 4 people sitting on this temple killing things? Like, right now, I look at it, there's no contest. Leave a Lost Viking there and go pick a fight is what I would be looking to do.
Yeah, it's tough to say. If they could get their Lost Vikings together to take the temple, absolutely, but they're just playing as safe as they can. And here's a Johanna and actually 3 of them looking maybe to poke mid, but they're going to walk out. That's going to get its final blast off. Forts don't fall on either side.
They do need to keep the lanes clear. I mean, that's the advantage of having the lanes out. It puts, gives the enemy vision, and it gives you work to do. I think,
We might actually have... It looks like it's just a poke for a couple of towers, but they could overinvest here. If someone can grab him, if Kael'thas can get a stun off. Nope, but Phoenix, just get out of my base. This is my house.
Well, you know, this strategy can work if they do turtle up sooner or later. See, in a map like Sky Temple, this actually doesn't apply. In most maps, you'd say sooner or later they're going to come knocking on our doors. Maybe we can get a team wipe. We'll fight them on our terms. Sky Temple is a map that's like, well, we don't ever have to visit your base. We're just going to sit on lasers and pew-pew you to death. So I don't think Stormcast can really afford to sit in their base. They need to, I think they really need to go pick a fight. And they need to be together before we see 3 team members head to the bottom lane. They spot out a Jaina. I think they want to go get a kill.
That was a great positioning on having the Johanna do the actual poking, but Stormcast is completely ready.
Here it is.
And all the damage is going out on Johanna. Water Elemental going out, immediately attacking Malfurion. Vala a little too far back to make anything this and Stormcast manages to walk out. Gonna lose a Viking, but he'll be back soon enough.
And he will. Yeah, that was good. That was a good initiate on the part of Stormcast. It's just the assassins on Coldplays sort of hit the back line, and Johanna stood in the way, and they couldn't finish it out.
Well, while these two teams get figured out into their positioning, looks like we're gonna have another gentleman split. Coldplays taking mid and Stormcast taking top. The only thing that differentiates them is their level 20s at the moment. Vala actually able to outrange every single DPS on Stormcast's team right now. Other than that, looks like push builds from both Lost Vikings and many, many Bolts of the Storm on both teams.
We're going to see a lot of teleporting and a lot of indestructible Johannas. I basically predict we won't see one dead for the rest of the game.
A very low kill game in general. 6-4 at the moment. And
everyone's prioritizing objectives. No one wants to be the team that makes the big mistake.
Yep.
You know, but unfortunately, you know, it's a game. It is a brawler, and you do got to brawl. And we want to see. I think a brawl would help decide the outcome of this match at this critical point in the game.
I love this too. Look at Jaina just waiting to take the camps, not even going to risk taking a little bit of damage, waiting for the rest of her team. But that leaves Coldplay with a boss. And that's big for this late in the game, with the only fort in the boss's lane.
Yeah, that boss was actually pretty critical. If they push along with that boss, they will get their 3rd inner fort. And that's a huge advantage for Coldplays, who has all their inner forts. Stormcast can be spending a lot of time clearing up minion waves instead of going out and getting objectives.
Well, boss is just going to walk right through everything, does not care. No one getting stuck in the stun, so nothing to engage off of. Coldplay's just hovering in the back as best they can. Love this lineup from Stormcast, though. Everyone keeping very safe. Wizards in the bats, Valak doing her strafe, and they lose Malfurion. Stormcast loses Malfurion. Johanna popping her shield, her level 20 shield, but is it enough? And she goes down.
Ouch. Yeah, now it's going to be really hard for those 2 squishies to get any damage in on the whole team of Coldplays. The zoning on the part of Team Stormcast was really good, but not enough damage output to knock out Coldplays.
Just a huge amount of damage. Yeah, another couple seconds and Notch would have gotten some living bombs off. That would have looked real good for the damage meters, but otherwise, Coldplays takes it.
Yep, so Coldplays played a very methodical game going after objectives. I think they knew that they would get nuked if they got caught out. I know when I'm playing versus KT and Jaina, I play very safe. And that's what they did here. They went after objectives. Sky Temple's a map where the objectives really win you the game, as opposed to pushing on the core with a siege.
Coldplay's making the right call there to play just extremely safe the entire time. Really, that's how you got to do it against this double wizard comp. Vala really winning it for him with just the auto attacks, able to deliver those tiny hits that 2 spellcasters can't really do to clear up an enemy team. But both Lost Vikings neck and neck. Really cool getting to see Lost Vikings versus Lost Vikings there. Johanna versus Johanna.
Yeah, it's kind of like the craziest mirror match ever for the most part. You know, but you can see both hitting objectives, I think, in parity. Like, I think they all got their camps. They all got their side of, you know, in terms of minion waves. The big differences were, I think, one, the Coldplays Lost Vikings won out a little bit in pushing the lanes up, and the two bosses. Those bosses, I think, really swung the game in the favor of Coldplays.
Yeah, if you want to pick one tragic moment in the game, it was that stolen boss and that great call of Fox to summon all of his Vikings back right there and charge.
Yeah, because, time spent with your guys killing the bosses, time the enemy's spending pushing your lanes up and getting that advantage. So even if it doesn't take a tower, it does give you that momentum, which both teams were, on time for all the objectives. So that slight shift in momentum going to Coldplays.
Look at this XP bar. I just got to note it. Lost Vikings versus Lost Vikings. Just dwarfing everybody else who could possibly contribute.
Wow. That is he's a full, like, if you don't count the opposing Lost Vikings, he's a full 25,000 or so, roughly, ahead of that Joanna. That's incredible.
Well, thank you for joining me for that. That was fun.
Yeah, it was a fun little match. Thanks for inviting me to do this. I enjoy watching the games, especially the games of the tournament. I'm eager to see, what kind of bloody grudge match the finals are going to end up being as we get closer and closer to cutoffs. But yeah, thank you, Kyle. It was very enjoyable.
Now, where are we at in the tournament, and what's the future tournament going to look like?
Right, so we're in the group stage right now. The group stage ends August 9th, and teams have to complete 7 games against the other 7 teams in their division. So we're almost at 50% of the games completed. Some divisions are a little ahead of the others. And certainly because it's a casual game, if some teams can't find the time to make their matches, then they just get an auto loss. So that doesn't necessarily mean all of the games will play out. The top 4 teams from each division will move on to the playoffs. And the date for that, I think, is... I'm just going to get the date because I don't know it off the top. It's sometime in August 15th. So on the weekend of August 15th, there'll be a group of 16 and a group of 8 playing best of 3s for elimination matches. And then the playoffs are the following weekend, where we do a group of 4, third place finals, and the Grand Pants finals for Frogpants swag. Yeah. Although there is a $10 Battle.net gift card per player in there, so you could win a free hero winning this tournament.
Nice. Now, I know you're a little invested in one particular team, being a team captain of them and all. Is there anything you guys are really going to be training against? Anything you've seen that you guys are just really scared of that one team has been demonstrating?
Sure. Well, Spastic Noobs won our game, so that's, I think, something I expect to see them. They played very well, and I expect to see them in the playoffs. Also, we won our game against, I believe it was Honey Badger Nunchuck. Yeah, their only loss was to us, and they had us on the ropes with a similar team as what you saw Coldplays running today, with the whole Jaina in the back line getting the flank, trying to burst us down, except they had a Gazlo, so it was the whole wombo combo thing. We really struggle against teams that very aggressively want to pick team fights. So that's something we're looking to train against. To make sure that we can kind of come out on top in the playoffs.
Sweet. Well, I look forward to casting more of this, and I hope you get a free night to join me for this again.
Man, this is fun. I love Heroes of the Storm, and I love casting the matches, so I definitely would enjoy doing this again.
Sweet. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and I guess we'll be bringing more games whenever they can happen.
Yeah, there's no set schedule for the group stage matches, so they come ad hoc, and we'll keep you posted on Twitter.
Awesome. Good night, everybody.